He made the entire world laugh. Bowler hat, cane, that unmistakable waddle. But behind the most famous face of early Hollywood was a childhood so bleak it's a miracle he ever smiled at all. This is the real story of Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin was born in 1889 in South London, into a world of music halls and grinding poverty. Both of his parents were performers, but neither could give him anything close to stability. His father drank himself into an early grave. His mother, Hannah, suffered from severe mental illness and was eventually committed to an asylum, leaving young Charlie and his half-brother Sidney essentially alone. For a time, Charlie lived in a workhouse. He was, by his own account, poor enough to know real hunger. It was not the beginning of a legend. It was the beginning of a survival story. But there was one place Charlie felt in control: the stage. He started performing as a child, joining a clog dancing troupe and later touring with a comedy theatrical company. The music halls of England became his real classroom, where he learned timing, physical comedy, and how to hold an audience in the palm of his hand. By his late teens, he was touring America with a British comedy troupe, and that tour changed everything. In 1913, a film studio scout spotted Chaplin performing and offered him a contract with Keystone Studios. He was in his mid-20s, broke, and completely unknown in the world of moving pictures. Within a year, he'd created the character that would define his entire career and arguably the entire silent film era. The bowler hat, the oversized shoes, the cane. The tramp wasn't just a costume. He was every underdog, every outsider, every person the world had overlooked. And audiences everywhere saw themselves in him. By his mid-20s, Chaplin wasn't just a working actor. He was one of the most famous human beings on the planet. Fame gave Chaplin something rare for the era: creative control. He wrote, directed, produced, and even scored his own films, a level of authorship almost no one in Hollywood had at the time. He co-founded United Artists, giving himself independence from the big studios entirely. But his personal life was far messier than his on-screen persona. Multiple marriages, some to much younger women, drew intense public scrutiny and scandal. His politics, openly critical of American capitalism and sympathetic to left-wing causes, made him a target during the Red Scare of the 1940s and 50s. In 1952, while traveling abroad, Chaplin's re-entry permit to the United States was revoked. After nearly 40 years building his life and career in America, he was effectively exiled. Chaplin settled in Switzerland with his family and didn't return to the US for 2 decades. It would have been easy for that to be the end of the story, a bitter, quiet exit. Instead, in 1972, Hollywood invited him back. He received an honorary Academy Award, and the audience gave him a standing ovation that lasted over 10 minutes, one of the longest in Oscar history. The boy from the workhouse, the man they'd exiled, standing on Hollywood's biggest stage, finally being told, "We were wrong to let you go." Charlie Chaplin died in 1977, but the image of the tramp is still instantly recognizable a century later. Maybe that's because his story was never really about comedy. It was about a kid who had nothing, who built an entire world out of nothing but timing, heart, and sheer will. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Chaplin's real story, let me know in the comments what surprised you most, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood backstories.